Hello, thank you for choosing to watch my video. This is a video of me walking the Cotswold Way over 5 days, while camping for 3 of the nights and staying in a campsite for 1 of them. Cotswold Way is 100 miles from Chipping, Campden to Bath. I'm recording this in the hope that I can complete the last 3 miles. But I hope you enjoy the video. It's a mixture of commentary from me, views of landscapes, and stills of things I found interesting, plants and the like, which I will try to put together in some coherent and chronological order. If you do enjoy, please subscribe, please like. Right, this is the start of the Cotswold Way. 100 miles to Bath. 5 days, and for some reason there's a very pink birdie. Weather's looking good, everything's looking great. Looking forward to it. Better get going, really. I'd imagine there are terrific views down there, hence why somebody put a seat there. But today the clouds are a bit low, nice for walking. On the path down into Broadway, you get this lovely scenery, even on a day like today. I had intended to stop in Broadway for coffee and a cake, but it's very busy and everywhere seems to have queues, as is the times that we live in. So I decided my best choice was to sit on a bench and people watch. According to my app, I've got 4 hours at least of rain-free weather, so pack covers off, a few miles in. Yeah, they really do love this stone. I suppose there's plenty of it. I've just come up Shenbury Hill, and on a normal day I'm guessing you can see some views, but I'm in low cloud, which is deadening all sound, makes it very eerie, but it's quite pleasant to walk in, if not visually effective. I'm sure there's a view down that way somewhere. But there's a viewing point up here, so really good walk so far, really easy to find, as you would expect from a national trail, to be honest. Could probably do it without a map at the moment. As soon as you come off the top of the hill and out of that cloud, you do get a pretty decent view, I have to say. Just coming through Stanton now, which is a lovely little place, and even better has a spring just as you're coming into the village, which is a great source of good water, so I thoroughly recommend that. Fresh and cold. And I have to go this way. Just coming up well, it doesn't even warrant a name on this route, but it's in the area of Coscombe, so I'm going to call it Coscombe Hill. It may not look like much. It's quite a way, and I'm not at the top yet. In fact, I'm only filming so that I can have a break. I decided to have a snack at the top of the hill. I don't know whether that's a good idea or not, but there we go, incentive for getting up there. It may not be the most complete seat in the world, but it is certainly welcome. And a pretty view. Right, just outside Winchcombe now. Done about 18 miles, got about a mile or so before I start looking for a place to camp tonight. I was hoping for a mini market or something in Winchcombe, but there wasn't. But there was a stream just as you came out, which meant that I'm now replenished with water. So, yeah, now just to find a campsite. Well, I'm now all set up. I found a little spot, quite shaded, near Belas, Knap. Yeah, it's exactly where I wanted, the woodland I wanted to be in, so that's good news. The ground is as rocky as anything, so I don't know if the pegs are going to stay in or no. But it's been a good day, 20 miles. So the idea is to get up tomorrow, start off at about 7, and walk another 20 miles tomorrow. That's me done for the day. So I'll see you in the morning from my humble abode. Right, so this is day 2 on the Cotswold Way. As you can see, leave no trace as always. 7:10 in the morning, 20 miles to do, lots of time to do it in. So, hoping to find a cafe, have a bit of lunch today. So yeah, good night's sleep, tent didn't fall down, feeling quite refreshed this morning, looking forward to it. Belas Knap Long Barrow, 5,500 years old. Pretty impressive. As you can see, the view is much as it was yesterday. Yeah, just dropped down into Breakheart Plantation, and yeah, real trekking pole required for that sort of zigzag path. But yeah, lots of trees hanging on to the side of the hills, but none more impressive than that one. That is doing a good job. I reckon that's probably holding up the hillside. Really beautiful in here, really peaceful. So I'll just share with you the wonderful view. I don't actually mean that. I mean the bacon butty I just bought at Cleve Hill Golf Club. Very nice, and a cup of coffee too. Yeah, totally refreshed. Signage is absolutely wonderful. It's almost as if they don't want you to stray around on their golf course. So, onwards and upwards. know there's a bit of a noise from the road, but this is the first bench I've come to since coming up past Line Over Wood. It's got a nice view going out over there, which is as a result of the massive hill that you have to climb to get to the top of Line Over Wood. I'm just waiting for my Tesco's chicken and sweet corn noodles to rehydrate, and unless you've walked up that hill, you have no right to judge me. It's about the only thing that got me up the hill, to be honest. That and trekking poles. But it is absolutely lovely. I'm really enjoying this morning. It's 10 miles today so far, and it has been thoroughly enjoyable. The walking has been brilliant. Met a couple of people doing the Cotswold Way. The plants beside the road are just stunning, and the views are beginning to open up as the mist is going. So can't really ask for better, except for perhaps this thing could hurry up and I could eat it, because I am a bit hungry now. I don't think I can complain about the views today. I found somebody else carrying their home on their back on the Cotswold Way. He might take a little bit longer than me though. You've got to come and have a look at this. Right, I'm now at Crinkley Hill. Having just left their cafe, which serves very nice simple food and has very clean toilets, which I've filled up with my water from the tap there. So I've got about 3 miles to go before I camp tonight. So all good. Really good day. That noise you can hear in the background is the A417. You don't want to be asleep when you're crossing that. It's it's a bit of a challenge after being on quiet lanes all day to suddenly have the A417 as your But I've got about a mile, maybe a mile and a half to go until I start looking for places to camp tonight. So yeah, all good. I'll come back to you once I find a place to camp. Well, finding a camping pitch tonight took a little bit longer than normal. I think I just got a bit picky, to be honest. Okay, take two. Just had to take the tent down, put it back up again. Wasn't happy with where it was, could be seen too easily. And this is much better. It's actually only about 20 foot from where I was, but nobody can see me now. And I've got a much better pitch on the tent, so much happier. Bit later than planned. Now I'm going to get some food organised. Good morning from the Cotswolds Trail Way. Just waiting for a door of the tent to dry, as I had it rolled up all last night and didn't realise there was moisture in it before I rolled it up. So, really good night's sleep. Was kept awake for a bit by a fox barking, but that was okay. Happy with that. Just gonna have a cup of coffee while I'm waiting for this to dry, which isn't going to take long now that the sun's on it. One thought I would recommend, if you're looking at doing the Cotswolds Way, or even if you're just interested in it, joining the Cotswold Way Facebook group. Good bunch of people, good load of info, much more pleasant than quite a few Facebook groups. But yeah, looking forward to today. 19 miles, so quite leisurely. Yeah, weather's supposed to be warmer than yesterday, so hopefully get some good views. This is Cooper's Hill, and it's bloody at all. Yeah, just checking out today. The shoulder gave me jib yesterday, so I've moved my camera in the hope that that'll stop it. It doesn't feel bad this morning. And the little pack, which I made myself, I took some stuff out of it this morning thinking that would help it, but it just made it, because it's got no structure, it just made it feel terrible, so I had to put all that back. But just checking the body. Slightest ache by the end of the day could be a disaster. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow, but yeah, lovely view. Good opportunity for a rest after coming up Cooper's Hill. Yeah, only a couple of miles in. Since Cooper's Hill, it's mostly been woodland like this. And I've been shadowing and being shadowed by a group of teenage girls doing their D of E, so I didn't want to take out the camera, to be honest. Yeah, apart from the woodland, there's been one quarry and a golf course who proclaimed to have a cafe but gave you no directions as to where that cafe was. Big cross in my book. There was me maligning them for not giving directions to the cafe, and lo and behold, when you come across it, you don't really need directions. So, my new morning ritual of coffee and bacon butty has been established. Well, I've just come through Painswick, and pretty as it may be, with some very lovely old buildings and some very sympathetically built new ones, it didn't have a coffee shop. So glad I stopped at the waypoint, or indeed the coffee horse box just after the waypoint seemed to be doing a roaring trade as well. That is the sort of sign you get used to on the Cotswold Way, an arrow pointing uphill. This is supposed to be a well, and it's marked on the map as a well. That's just cruel. I don't know if you can read that. Whereas the bucket full windeth, let him, oh God knows. All I know is there's no water and I want some. Well, according to my GPX, and looking by the sides of this stone, I'm now halfway on the Cotswolds Trail. I was going to have some lunch here, but I think I might continue on until I find some water. I've still got some, but I'd prefer to get some before I sit down and drink my fill. So, there's only one thing for it. A halfway along the Cotswold Trail jig. Along the Cotswold Trail, I'm halfway along the Cotswold Trail, halfway here, halfway back. I'm in the middle, and that is that. Oh. It may not look like much this spring, but I'm not the first person or animal to find it. So I've gone as high up in the spring source as I can and filtered it to minimise any problems I might incur. It looks very clean. So There's no obvious mess around, so quite happy with that. I've just got to climb back up the hill, which I've just gone down to get here. I spotted it on the on the OS map and thought it was worth a go. Bit relieved now, I have to say. Now I've got some water on board. Now to get back up the top and have some lunch. Right, so I've had my lunch. I didn't video it because I didn't wish to be ridiculed for having another snack shot. This time macaroni and cheese. And it was really nice. Must get some more of them. And I'm now walking through Standish Wood. Got about 7-8 miles to go to where I want to camp tonight. Yeah, in a good place. In a good place. Loving the Cotswold Way and getting slightly mad. I think I'll say goodbye to the woodland for a bit. Going through villages and farmland for now. Just skirting around Stonehouse now. Yeah, vineyards, haven't seen them before. And listening to people and a school, I think it must be a school sports day or something. Yeah, seems a bit weird hearing people. They're really keen on this style around here, but it's a bit of a pain in the backside, to be honest, with rucksack. You have to sort of hop over it in order to get your rucksack clear. That one wasn't too bad, but some of them have a fair old drop on them. I know I've mentioned the Cotswold Way Facebook group before. I've just had somebody appear beside the road in Stonehouse, a gentleman by the name of Rob. Sorry I didn't get your surname, Rob. But got chatting and he had some water for me. He parked up, waited for me for a few minutes. My first ever trail magic. And water may not sound like a lot, but it certainly is, believe me. Very grateful. Just heading up Pen Hill now. Ooh. Once I get up here, then I'm in woodland for the rest of my day, really. I've got about 3 miles before I start looking for somewhere to camp tonight. So, soaking in the view. Or just taking a rest. You choose. This is Pen Wood. I'll tell you what, I'm glad I'm not looking for a campsite in here. I think even with a hammock you'd have a problem, because anything you put on the ground would just roll away. This is steep. Gloucester over in the distance. Earlier on we were up over that hill, looking down on it. So, yeah. I think we could say it's been a fair walk today. Really don't want to do that at the end of the day. I'm okay, don't panic. Right, off to find a campsite. Oh, that's the end of day 3, which ended up having a mile and a half extra on it, so I just could not find anywhere to pitch. Yeah, like I say, I couldn't find anywhere to pitch. The right path is just down there. This is far from ideal, but it was all I could find. And it's just getting late, it's 6:30 and I'm tired. So this is it for tonight. It's a bit of a slope. I think I'll be leaving here early in the morning. So been a good day. I'm quite glad tomorrow night's a campsite. staying in Cotswold Meadow tomorrow, which is about 20 miles away. Looking forward to that. Not having to think about water, not having to think about campsite. Yeah, that'll be good. See you tomorrow. Right, it's day 4 on the Cotswold Way. All packed away. Nothing to show except for a bit of a flat spot. Got up early today. It's 6:10 because it's supposed to get a little bit hotter later. And I'm also at a campsite tonight and I'm quite keen on a shower. So I thought I'd get some miles in and make the best use of the campsite. So yeah, back on the trail. I've got about a mile to walk before I get to the trail because I had to come off it so far to find even a half decent space last night. So yeah, about 20 miles, maybe 21 to go today. Should be there by about 3:30 is the plan. Well, I have to say that mile back to the trail was a lot easier this morning than it was yesterday. It's amazing what happens when you're not tired and you're not looking for a campsite and you're just out for a stroll. I'm now in this lovely old path that's well sunk into the ground. As you can see, the mist is fairly in at the moment, but I've got a feeling that'll burn off very soon. I was up there, then I was down there, and now I'm going up here. No easy start on the Cotswolds Trail, but it's certainly spectacular. Just coming out of Dursley now, where I picked up something for lunch, a sandwich and an energy boost drink. I'm glad I picked up that drink. Just to add an element of confusion to the incredibly easy navigating on the Cotswold Way, they occasionally do have alternate routes which aren't on my GPX, so I'm not taking them. Yeah. On the way up to the monument after North Nibble, there is actually a diversion which I missed, and I thought I'd gone the wrong way, so I went back down the hill and back up the route that's actually closed. Wouldn't recommend it, it's closed for a reason. Right, I'm now at Watton Hill, which has this impressive brick-in little forest. But equally impressive, it has a wonderful view. Look at this. I'm going to run around, move slowly and speed it up later in the edit. What do you think of that? Just coming down from Wortley Hill at the moment. The path has taken on a prehistoric vibe. I can't believe that this is a path sunk this far down into the ground. It must have been aided by erosion of streams and whatever. After yesterday, when water was a real issue, this is about the 3rd or 4th I've seen today, and I've taken my opportunity to have a drink out of each of them. Lovely and cold. Seems like about 4 or 5 miles I've been walking on farm tracks and roads. It's nice to get back beside a field. Yeah, quite a long time. I managed to zone out really. Even played a short-lived game of how far can you walk with your eyes closed. Spoiler alert, not very far. Got about 3 miles to go now before I turn off the Cotswold Way and go off to my pre-booked campsite for tonight. Luxury. You can see the church up behind me, which is just before I left the trail. I'm now coming across what's called the Jubilee Way in order to get to my campsite. Right, it's about 6:20 in the morning, day 5, Cotswold Trail. I've got 20 miles to do and a train booked for 4:36. Last night did not go to plan. A fox stole my breakfast, which was in my cup. He punctured 2 of my water bladders, one so that it's unusable. And when I came back from the toilet, he was trying to steal my sleeping bag. So there you go. So I've had no breakfast and on the lookout for a bacon butty, I think. But we're on the trail, so all good. Can't blame the fox. Well, early morning in the Cotswolds. Well, I have to say that walking through the Donington estate first thing in the morning is very relaxing. Quite easy going. I did think I saw a stag in the distance over there, but as it hasn't moved for about 3 or 4 minutes, I'm pretty certain it's a statue. You certainly get variety on the Cotswolds Way. This is much of what I've been going through this morning. It's meadows, long grass. It's really quite pleasant. I'm not even minding the fact that my legs are wet and so are my feet, but they'll dry enough soon enough. Unpleasant little bit of road necessary to get you over the M4, I think, is the best way to describe that bit of road. As I say, up until the bridge, fine. Once you're over the bridge, there's nothing for you apart from standing in the road, which is dodgy at best. Coming up for 5 miles in this morning, and this can't have been more different than yesterday, to be honest. Mostly been farm fields like this and meadows, which were a little bit wet, hence the drying socks, but virtually no up or downs. I have to say the Cotswold Way is one of the most varied walks that I've walked. Every day has been different. It's almost like if you split it up into 20-mile sections, it was a different person that came up with that section of the route. Really is picture postcard stuff this morning. Well, we certainly have to cross over more roads today. Just been over the A46 and now the A420, both of which have some very large vehicles on them. So take care would be my advice. Just over 10 miles to go now. Yeah, just going across a couple of women who are doing the last section They've taken about 5 or 6 years over it. I was walking with them for a while, but it felt a bit weird. You couldn't walk away from them, and they couldn't walk away from me, so we were a bit stuck with one another. And I don't know whether they wanted that, so I stopped to pick up some water and they've carried on, so they are way ahead of me now. Apparently in 1643 this field was the site of a battle between the Royalists and the Parliamentarians. Lansdowne Battle, or the Battle of Lansdowne, one of those two. Yeah. Would have looked a little bit different back then, wouldn't it? Quite a few plaques and things along the Cotswold Way. This one's to a Cotswold warden. Look at the view that they've given him from that memorial. Right, I've got less than 3 miles to go. I'm truly coming down into Bath now. Yeah, sad it's over, but also glad it's over, you know. It's the right length of time. It's time to go home. My feet need a rest. With just 2 miles to go, and you think you're doomed for road walking. The Cotswold Way, there's a sharp dog leg. Takes you up a very steep hill and takes you through this pleasant bit. It was almost worth the hill.
Enjoy the rest of your stay. Take care. Bye.
Well, it's absolutely bizarre. From the Cotswolds with nobody in it to here where it is frankly absolutely rammed with people. But it's the end of the Cotswold Way and I've made it. And now I'm getting out of here. Cotswold Way is a challenge. I'm glad I didn't decide to do it in any less than 5 days. If I had, I wouldn't have completed it, to be honest. It's incredibly varied, it's incredibly hilly, it's got more elevation gain than the South Downs Way. Wild camping can be tricky, finding water can be tricky, but if you're carrying a water filter, it's not, you can do it. I've really enjoyed it, really have. It's been the best walk I've done, I would say. I'd recommend it to anyone. And if this video has helped you decide to get out and maybe even do the Cotswold Way, even in sections, you would really enjoy it. Until next time, keep safe.